Hello, this is Dee Dee Mitten, and today I'm going to give you the top 10 don'ts of taking care of a red-eared slider turtle. Number 1, impulse buying a baby turtle. Now this could be one of the most important things on the list of do's and don'ts, buying your red-eared slider turtle. I know we all go to the flea market sometimes and we see those cute little baby turtles in those little plastic lagoons. You cannot keep those in those plastic lagoons. I cannot stress this enough. It is a myth that they will stay that size or grow according to the size of their tank. They will continue to grow. The females can grow up to 12 inches in length and the males from 8 to 10 inches. So they will get very large, and it's recommended for them to have 10 gallons of water per inch in size. So bear that in mind if you are thinking of keeping a red-eared slider turtle or buying one from the flea market or a pet store. Make sure you do your research first in the care that they need. Number 2, releasing a captive red-eared slider into the wild. Now if you do happen to buy one of those little red-eared sliders that you see at the flea market, or for any other reason you are not unable to care for your red-eared slider turtle, it is very, very bad idea to let him go into the wild, whether you release him into a pond or a river. A lot of states have their own native breeds of turtles, and the red-eared slider is an incredibly aggressive feeder, so they can unfortunately decline the native population of turtles. So it is advised that you find an organisation that maybe can help you rehome your turtle, or maybe put an ad online. Try any other means necessary to rehome your turtle rather than just release him into a local pond or lake or river. Okay, number 3 on my list of don'ts is overfeeding. Now a lot of people do fall into the trap of overfeeding their red-eared slider turtles because they are big beggars. They will beg and beg and beg for food and act like they haven't been fed for a week. Now they're just opportunist feeders. They will do that even if they have a full belly. Any chance for more food, they'll take it. But the thing is with red-eared sliders is you'll be surprised how little protein they need in their diet. A baby red-eared slider that's growing, his diet should only be 50% protein based. And that is in the form of obviously the turtle pellets, crickets, worms. Mealworms, they're not recommended, but they can be a treat. Some canned shrimps can be a treat, but you have to be really conscious to not overfeed them with protein. And the adult red-eared sliders only need 25% of their diet to be protein based, so that's even less. So when you read the back of those pellet containers and they're telling you to feed your pet 2 times a day as much as they'll feed, that is an incredible amount of protein, and that will cause a lot of health problems for them. The major health concern with overfeeding a turtle with a lot of protein is that their shell can deform, and it's called pyramiding. Now the thing is with pyramiding is it's a deformity that can't really be reversed, and if it's too much it can really damage the inside of the turtle. And also too much protein can cause rapid growth, obesity, believe it or not, in a turtle. They can actually grow faster than their shell, and also it can cause liver and kidney failure and other organ damage. So it can cause a lot of problems for your red-eared slider and shorten its life. This point brings me to number 4 on my don'ts turtle list. Don't undernourish your turtle. And by that I mean make sure they have plenty of greens for them to munch on, even if they don't want them at first. I know baby turtles especially can be really picky in their greens intake. They're like kids, they don't want to eat their greens, but they will eventually seek out the nutrients they need. Now you don't want to give them greens that are too high in phosphorus, because calcium is one of the most important nutrients in a red-eared slider's diet. The thing is with phosphorus, although they need it, if they have too much phosphorus in their body, they will need the calcium for the phosphorus to exit the body. So that can also deplete their calcium levels. A good recommended vegetable to give to your turtle would be green or red leaf lettuce. That is like candy to them. They should eat that no matter what. Dandelion greens are one of the best things to give them. Another good one is the turnip greens, although I haven't had a very good experience with those because they do go slimy, so it's good to not leave those in the water too long. And also aquatic plants like water's hyacinths, anacaris plants and things like that, like Amazonian swords and things like that. They do enjoy those, but they can be expensive and they do rip them apart rather quickly. So if you can grow your aquatic plants, or you can afford to keep up with a large supply of aquatic plants, that's great. If not, and you are budget conscious, the red and green leaf lettuce, the dandelion greens and the turnip greens should suffice. The thing is, if they do lack calcium, they can get metabolic bone disease and soft shell can lead to shell rot. So you do have to be really conscious that your turtle is getting enough calcium. You can give them calcium supplements. I know Flukers make a good powder that you can dip maybe a cricket in and feed to your turtle. But also what's very, very good is to give them cuttle bone. And that's this strange white little bone that you can find in the bird section. And that they will nibble on that when they feel that they need to seek out calcium. So it's good just to keep their calcium levels as high as a turtle will consume. Also, another thing they need is vitamin D3, which they can get with the UVB light, but I will move on to that later. And they also need vitamin A. But like humans, they need a wide variety of vitamins and minerals, so it is good to give them healthy greens like the red or green leaf lettuce rather than just iceberg lettuce or unnutritional greens. Spinach is not recommended, and neither is rhubarb because of the high phosphorus levels. Number 5 on my turtle don't list is gravel. Now, gravel is a very poor choice in materials to line the bottom of your tanks in because it can actually cause a lot of problems for the turtle. One of the biggest problems you can get with a turtle is impaction, where they will actually eat a small piece of gravel and it will block their digestive systems and cause all kinds of nastiness. Also, another reason why gravel isn't a very good idea is because it is very scratchy and rough. And even though turtles have a strong plastron, which is their belly, the underside of their shell, it can be prone to lesions. So they do like to slide, hence the name. So it is good to really not use things that are rough and small like gravel. I would recommend large river stones that are smooth, or sand, but sand isn't too easy to clean, whereas the river rocks are a lot easier to clean and rinse off and get any debris from underneath. And it also won't clog your filter. Also, a lot of people do just leave the bottoms of their tank with nothing lining the bottom. That does also make it very easy for them to clean. So you can just have nothing in the bottom of your tank, that will work too. I just would stay away from gravel because you don't want the costly vet bill and the terrible scenario where your turtle could actually die from impaction. So I really would not recommend gravel.